So after a solid month and a half of use, the Sennheiser Momentum 3s are currently my favorite earbuds to use. The Momentum 3s have some very important upgrades to them over the Momentum 2s, like better sound, better active noise cancellation, a better sounding ambient mode, and updated Bluetooth connectivity. Now, the Momentum 3s are not the all-out kings of Premium ANC earbuds. But today we're going to compare the Momentum 3s to the Sony WF-1000XM4s, the AirPods Pro, Jabra Elite 85Ts, and the Galaxy Buds Pro. Now regarding pricing, the Galaxy Buds Pro have a retail price of $200. The Jabra Elite 85Ts have a retail price of $230. Both the AirPods Pro and Momentum 3s have a retail price of $250. And finally, there are the Sony WF-1000XM4s, which have a retail price of $280. However, due to current market conditions, I do expect all of these earbuds to go on sale from time to time. Plus, both the AirPods Pro and Galaxy Buds Pro are due for an upgrade as of summer 2022. Nonetheless, if you want to pick any of these earbuds up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch shelf down below. I've made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know I can be very particular. So I'll only set my name on something that I'm really proud of. Now first, let's talk about these cases. All of these earbuds have decently small cases for everyday carry. Now the AirPods Pro have the smallest case here, making them super convenient to take on the go with you, because you're barely going to notice this case while it's in your pocket. Now the Galaxy Buds Pro also have a very small case, but it is a little thicker. Then there are the Sony WF-1000XM4s and Jabra Elite 85Ts cases, which are relatively the same size, except Sony's case has a slightly smaller footprint, but Jabra's case is slightly thinner. But finally, there's the Momentum 3's case, which is the largest case here. And personally, I feel that this is the largest case that I feel is acceptable. Now you can still daily drive these earbuds, but this case is rather noticeable when it's in your pocket. However, something that all of these earbuds do have in common is that they all have wireless charging. And this is actually a new feature for the Momentum 3s, and I feel the Momentum 2s should have had wireless charging, just given that they had a relatively large case. Nonetheless, if you're an iPhone user looking for maximum convenience, then the AirPods Pro are still the way to go, and if you're an Android user looking for maximum convenience, then the Galaxy Buds Pro are still the way to go. Now, when it comes to battery life, keep in mind if you were to use these earbuds with their ANC turned off, then you can extend their battery life that way. And if battery life is very important to you, then you might want to go with the Sonys, because the Sonys can go for as long as 36 hours with their ANC turned off. The Jabras are good for up to 31 hours, the AirPods Pro are good for about up to 30 hours, and both the Momentum 3s and Galaxy Buds Pro are good for up to 28 hours, with their active noise cancellation turned off. But with their active noise cancellation turned on, the AirPods Pro, Jabras, and Sonys are all good for up to 24 hours for playback time, whereas both the Galaxy Buds Pro and Momentum 3s are good for up to around 18 hours of playback time. Overall, I feel that all of these earbuds have decent enough battery life for earbuds in 2022, but clearly the Sonys do come out on top here, and personally I do feel the Momentum 3s are going to struggle to keep up in the near future, because the successors for the AirPods Pro and Galaxy Buds Pro are right around the corner, and they will surely bring with them increased battery life. But now let's talk about fit, and we're really gonna have to dive deep here because we do have a spectrum here, and fit really is subjective. Now, all of these earbuds are in-ear earbuds, but only the Momentum 3s and Sonys fit like your standard pair of in-ear earbuds, as in they go into your ear canal a decent amount. However, the Momentum 3s do go into your ear canal a little deeper than the Sonys. Also, the Momentum 3s are the only earbuds here that still have earphones. Before, earphones were super popular, and this was a way that earbuds would try to differentiate themselves from AirPods, because they're supposed to help with lockdown and they're supposed to help with customizing your fit. But more and more earbuds are starting to get rid of earphones, unless they're workout earbuds. But tangent aside, there are both the AirPods Pro and Jabras, which are a pair of shallow fitting in-ear earbuds, as in they don't go in super deep into your ear canal, making them feel a little more natural. natural. However, shallow fitting in-ear earbuds might not offer as much lockdown as a pair of standard fitting in-ear earbuds like the Momentum 3s or Sony. And this really goes for the AirPods Pro because these things really like to wiggle out a lot. Whereas with the Jabras, not as much because their silicone ear tips are a little stiffer. But then there are the Galaxy Buds Pro, which go in a little deeper than your shallow fitting in-ear earbuds, but they don't go in as deep as a standard pair of in-ear earbuds. The result is that the Galaxy Buds Pro feel natural while still offering good lockdown. Personally, for me, fit-wise, it's a real toss-up between the Jabras and Galaxy Buds Pro. They both feel comfortable while still offering great lockdown. However, one really important thing that I do have to address here are the ear tips. All of these earbuds come included with silicone ear tips except the Sonys. The Sonys only come included with foam ear tips. Now, these foam ear tips have their advantages. Since they better conform to the shape of your ear canal, they offer the most lockdown here, and they also passively block out the most amount of noise here, which is both great for sound quality, and it does give them an advantage when it comes to active noise cancellation. However, these foam ear tips are not for everyone. For starters, for some people, these foam ear tips can get itchy after a short while, like me. I can usually only go like 20 minutes with these things in my ears before I gotta rip them out and take a break. Whereas that isn't an issue with the silicone ear tips found on all of these other earbuds. But then there's also size. I usually gotta use the small ear tips that come included with my earbuds. But even the smallest ear tips that come included with the Sonys are still a little too big for me. So if you're someone that has a smaller ear canals, then the Sonys might not just work for you. Period. So overall, even though the foam ear tips on the Sonys do have their advantages, they're not for everyone. And I do wish the Sonys also came included with a pair of silicone ear tips like their predecessors did. But if you're looking for the best fitting earbuds here, then I would recommend either the Jabras or the Galaxy Buds Pro. But now let's talk about Bluetooth connectivity because there are some very important nuances to take into consideration here. Now, the AirPods Pro, Jabras, Sonys, and Sennheiser Momentum 3s all each establish a connection with your phone. So if you just want to use one earbud at a time, you can use either one, it doesn't matter. And this is the connection setup that we expect to see from all of our earbuds nowadays, and this is a new addition for the Momentum 3s from the Momentum 2s. Whereas with the Jabras, they're still using a hero and sidekick setup, meaning that one earbud, in this case the right earbud, actually establishes a connection with your phone and then relays that connection over to the left earbud. So if you just want to use one earbud at a time, you gotta use the correct earbud, or in this case, the right earbud, the hero earbud. Now, earbuds that are still using a hero and sidekick setup do feel rather last gen. However, the Jabras do justify their use of a hero and sidekick setup because they can be simultaneously connected to any two Bluetooth devices regardless of operating system. So if you're an iPhone user with, let's say, an iPhone and a Windows machine, then you're going to be able to hot swap between your two devices with the Jabras. Now, both the AirPods Pro and Galaxy Buds Pro will let you hot swap between devices, but only within their respective ecosystems. So if you're an Apple Power user, then AirPods are great, or if you're a Galaxy Power user, then Galaxy Buds are great. But the Jabras play nice with everybody. And ultimately, the Momentum 3s are better suited to be used with one primary device. Unlike, let's say, with the Galaxy Buds Pro or Sonys, which will automatically jump from one device to another if another device asks to pair with them, the Momentum 3s won't do that. Instead, if you want to switch from one device to another with the Momentum 3s, you either got to do that through their app, or you got to place them into pairing mode every single time you want to switch devices. So in general, the Momentum 3s are not the most power user-friendly earbuds out there. But when it comes to overall performance, all of these earbuds have zero latency across the board when watching movies or videos on your phone, whether you're using an iPhone or an Android device. And when it comes to audio codecs, the AirPods Pro, Jabras, and Galaxy Buds Pro all only have support for SBC and AAC. Now, AAC is going to be perfectly fine whether you're using an iPhone or an Android device. But the Momentum 3s have support for SBC and AAC, just like all of these other earbuds, but they also have support for for aptX and aptX Adaptive. And then there are the Sonys, which also have SPC and AAC, but they also have LDAC, which is Sony's own in-house high-res audio codec. But just keep in mind, if you want to take advantage of aptX or LDAC, you do have to be an Android user. But now let's talk about listening to music with these earbuds. If sound quality is a priority for you, then the AirPods Pro are the last earbuds you want to be looking at here. Compared to these other earbuds, the AirPods Pro sound very narrow, they put an emphasis on the mids, and their bass does not resonate whatsoever. Personally for me, I never use my AirPods Pro to listen to music with. For me, I only use the AirPods Pro to watch videos or to listen to podcasts with. But then there are the Jabra Elite 85Ts that sound more open than the AirPods Pro, and they also have hard-hitting bass that also resonates a little bit. Now, even though these earbuds do have a fully customizable EQ, these earbuds are better suited for someone who likes a warmer EQ because these earbuds just don't sound as open as either the Galaxy Buds Pro or Momentum 3s. But then there are the Sony WF-1000XM4s, which I feel are an upgraded version of the Jabras. Now, like the Jabras, I would also mostly recommend these earbuds to people who prefer a warmer EQ because these earbuds also have a lot of bass in them. Now, like I said, I would recommend the Sonys more to someone who likes a bass-heavy EQ because the bass on these earbuds hits harder than the bass on the Jabras. But if you like a more neutral or vocals-focused EQ, then the Sonys can get the job done if you've got them in the right EQ settings. But if you're interested in the best sound quality, then you'll want to look at either the Galaxy Buds Pro or Momentum 3s. Now, both the Galaxy Buds Pro and Momentum 3s have far better instrument separation than all of these other earbuds. But the Momentum 3s do sound a little more open than the Galaxy Buds Pro. But where these two earbuds really differ is when it comes to their bass. Now, the bass on the Galaxy Buds Pro resonates a good amount, but the bass on the Momentum 3s resonates more, and it also has a good punch to it. Now, personally, I like to use the Galaxy Buds Pro while in their dynamic EQ, but even while in their dynamic EQ, their highs are a little elevated. And unlike all of these other earbuds, you can't adjust the EQ on the Galaxy Buds Pro if you're using them with an iPhone, because you can only use their app if you're on an Android device. But overall, I do feel the Momentum 3s have the best overall performance here when it comes to sound quality, and I think the gap is pretty big. For starters, these earbuds simply have far better instrument separation than the AirPods, Jabras, and Sony. But also, the bass both resonates much deeper and it also has a good punch to it, which is something that all of these other earbuds lack. Plus, the Momentum 3s will be able to please everyone. If you're someone that likes a bass-heavy EQ, then these earbuds can deliver. Plus, they'll punch even harder if you've got them with the right EQ settings. Or if you want a more neutral or vocals-focused EQ, then you can reduce the bass on these earbuds and up the mids and treble. Now, when it comes to your media controls, the Sennheisers, Sonys, and Galaxy Buds are all using touchpads, whereas the Jabras are using physical buttons and the AirPods Pro have their force-sensitive stems. Now, the touchpads on the Sennheiser, Sonys, and Galaxy Buds are all easy enough to use and they're all fairly accurate. And all of these earbuds have wear sensors, so they will automatically play and pause your music when you take them out or put them back in. But if you want maximum accuracy, then you'll want to go with either the Jabras or AirPods Pro because of their physical buttons. Now, when it comes to voice-activated voice assistants, if you were to use the AirPods Pro with an iPhone, then you're going to have Hey Siri support. If you use the Galaxy Buds Pro with a Galaxy device, then you're going to have Hi support. And if you use the Sonys with an Android device, then you're going to have Hey support. So you can always just activate your voice assistant with just your voice, or you can always activate it by pressing and holding on their touchpad. But the important thing to keep in mind here is that with both the Jabras and Momentum 3s, you can only activate your voice assistant by pressing and holding on the touchpad. But now let's talk about the active noise cancellation on these earbuds. And first, I do want to taper expectations here. The ANC on these earbuds is not going to block out as much noise as a proper pair of over-ear ANC headphones, like either the Bose QC45, AirPod Max, and especially the Sony 1000XM5s, which are personally my top 3 performing ANC headphones. However, both the Sony's and Momentum 3s have really good active noise cancellation on them. Because right now, as of mid-2022, the Sony WF-1000XM4 still block out the most amount of noise here. Albeit, they do have an advantage because of their itchy foam ear tips, which personally I am just not a fan of. Now, right below them are the Sony LinkBud S, which also block out a ton of noise, but thankfully, they come included with silicone ear tips, so they're a lot more comfortable. Now, right below them are the Sennheiser Momentum 3s, which are also blocking out a ton of noise while using silicone ear tips. Right below them are the Jabra Elite 85Ts, which have been bumped down quite a bit. Right below them are the AirPods Pro, which are starting to show their age. Right below them are the Jabra Elite 7 Pros. Right below them are the Beats Fit Pro. And right below them are the Galaxy Buds Pro, which are really starting to trail behind here. So overall, if active noise cancellation is very important to you, then you might want to go with one of Sony's earbuds. But personally, I would rather go with the LinkBud S because they're a lot more comfortable than the WF-1000XM4s. Or you can always go with the Momentum 3s, which also have really good active noise cancellation, plus they sound amazing. Or if you want something a little more comfortable, then the Jabra Elite 85Ts are still a good pickup. However, active noise cancellation definitely is not one of the Galaxy Buds Pro's strong suits. But like I've mentioned in the past, I only use the active noise cancellation on my earbuds when I have to, and what's really important to me is the quality of their ambient mode. Now, all of these earbuds have an ambient mode, but the AirPods Pro have the best performing ambient mode here. It sounds the most natural, and their microphone array does the best job here of blocking out wind noise when walking outdoors. Now, the ambient mode on both the Sony's and Sennheiser are also really good, but they don't sound as natural as the ambient mode on the AirPods Pro, and their microphone arrays are a little faster to pick up wind noise than the AirPods Pro. But overall, the ambient mode on both the Sony and Sennheisers are really good as well. But then there are the ambient modes on the Jabras and Galaxy Buds Pro. Now, the ambient mode on the Jabras sounds very hollow and shallow, whereas the ambient mode on the Galaxy Buds Pro sounds very artificial and robotic. Overall, their ambient mode gets the job done, but they are not the best sounding ambient modes out there. But finally, here's the microphone test. Now, overall, I still feel that the Sony WF-1000XM4s have the worst performing microphone here, albeit they have gotten a few software updates that have helped improve this microphone. Now, the microphone on both the Sonys and Jabras are a little bit on the bass heavy side. They do sound a little shallow. Whereas the microphone on both the Sennheiser Momentum 3s and Galaxy Buds Pro are a little bit on the cooler side, as in their highs are a lot more elevated. And personally, I feel that these brighter sounding microphones are easier to understand when you're taking phone calls with them. But finally, there's the microphone on the AirPods Pro, which I feel do the best job of focusing on your voice and elevating your voice here. But the AirPods Pro do the best job here of dealing with noise pollution. Because right now, yes, you can hear a decent amount of road noise in the background, but my voice is very elevated. And for comparison's sake, if we were to switch over to my lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear all of this road noise. But if we were to switch back over to the AirPods Pro, it is greatly reduced. Now, the Momentum 3s are also trying to reduce this road noise and elevate my voice, but the Momentum 3s aren't doing a good of a job as the AirPods Pro. Whereas with the Galaxy Buds Pro, they're also trying to reduce this road noise, but there is a considerable amount of interference going on with my voice. And then there are the Sony WF-1000XM4s, which are also trying to block out this road noise. But there is a considerable amount of static when I'm talking. But this is actually considered an improvement from what they used to do before. And then there are the Jabras, which really don't block out any noise pollution. And the same thing can be said when it comes to blocking out chatter. The Jabras aren't really blocking out any noise pollution here. The Sony WF-1000XM4s also aren't doing the best job of blocking out this chatter. But at least there isn't as much static in the background when I'm talking this time. But then there are the Galaxy Buds Pro, which are doing a good job of reducing this chatter in the background. And the Sennheiser Momentum 3s are also doing a good job of dealing with this chatter. And personally, I feel this microphone has better clarity to it than the microphone found on the Galaxy Buds Pro. But finally, here are the AirPods Pro, which are blocking out the most amount of chatter here. Because again, for comparison's sake, if we were to switch over to my lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear all of this chatter. But if we were to switch back over to the AirPods Pro, it is greatly reduced. But personally, I do feel that the Momentum 3s do the better job here of elevating my voice while in a chatty environment. But overall, I do feel that the AirPods Pro have the best performing microphone here, whereas the microphone on both the Momentum 3s and Galaxy Buds Pro aren't half bad. But personally, I would avoid trying to take phone calls with both the Sonys and Jabras. But with all that being said, I feel the Sennheiser Momentum 3s are a pair of very well-rounded earbuds that do a lot of things very well and simply excel when it comes to sound quality. The Momentum 3s have amazing instrument separation, which makes them sound very open, but they also have a very impressive bass that both resonates and punches very nicely. Plus, these earbuds should be able to please everyone. The Momentum 3s also have very good active noise cancellation without needing itchy foam ear tips, and they have a really good sounding ambient mode as well. Plus, their microphone for phone calls isn't half bad. The only thing that I feel the Momentum 3s really need improving on is either increasing their overall battery life, because their case is pretty big, or shrink the size of their case, because these earbuds aren't the most convenient when compared to these other earbuds. Also, these aren't the best for power users. But nonetheless, I think these are my new favorite earbuds to listen to music with and watch movies with when I can't wear headphones. But when compared to these other Premium ANC earbuds, if you're an iPhone user, then the AirPods Pro are still the most convenient earbuds here. And if you're an Android or Galaxy user, then the Galaxy Buds Pro are the most convenient option here. Now, if you don't want to put up with the Momentum 3's large case and active noise cancellation is very important to you, then you could go with either the Jabra Elite 85Ts or Sony WF-1000XM4s. But personally, I do lean towards the Jabra here because the foam ear tips on the WF-1000XM4s are a deal breaker for me. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something if I'm really proud of it.